shining tornado. My strikes hit so hard that I'm sanctioned by NATO. My dawn's the destruction, pure liberation. Oh, do you need a translation?
I'm done testing Mouchette. My final review, if one of you guys, is going to be very controversial, just like with the Pollux. I'm going to rate her C tier, general tier list. And on the Wailed tier list, I'm going to rate her A tier. She's very good, wailed out. Not wailed out, I don't see any reason to use her. And I have wailed her out. She is very good, wailed out. This is the big problem with her stats. Now let me go over her entire kit and list my reasonings why I place her C tier average later on in the video. So, her entire gimmick is Strike and Pursuit. Now, Mortal Blast and Shining Crush and her Exalt. That's her entire kit, and she scales extremely well with levels and with wailing. However, not well enough. There are a lot of things that lead you to mislead on her strength. Now, those of you who have started using her at low investment levels, most of you guys would realize she sucks. And I don't think I need to point this out at low investment levels. All of you guys got her for free, level 60 E0. Level 60 E0, obviously she's extremely bad. All of her cards don't have any strength scaling, just like Pollux. However, she does not have the Atonement of Pain. All she has is her Dramatic Pursuit and Final Damage scaling, which is very good, and her Wheel scaling. Those three. And there are a lot of things the devs put to mislead you on her power level right now. She has no scaling outside of that, like no infinite scaling. However, guess what she has this D-Tide? That's right, infinite scaling Image Relic. Now, those of you guys who are using her and think she sucks, she's a little bit worse than that. Because currently with the Image Relic, she is bonkers. Without the Image Relic, I tried it in hard mode story mode. She does clear with Wailed. There's no doubt about it. She's a boss fight unit. No doubt about it. But if you're using her for D-Tide, borrowing, you have to realize that her Image Relic, besides the 15 elements every turn, it gives you that free strike card to proc the Dramatic Encounter over and over again. And it gives you permanent scaling, because every time you proc Dramatic Encounter or Pursuit, as they call it, you get a permanent scaling bonus of 5% on her base damage and her strike damage, and offshoring her meal by 5% for the entire battle. Base damage, strike damage, Shining Tornado. 5%. Infinite scaling. And you can proc it maximum 4 times a turn, with 20% scaling. Up to 20% scaling every turn. Normal gameplay, you will not have this effect. Normal gameplay. So that's most of her strength gone. Now, I did a comparison, as I'll show here. This is me going into story mode with the Wailed Mouchette on Fran Boss. Compare that to regular D-Tide with the Relic. This is the difference. Another point against her for most free-to-play units is that you will not get enough crit rate. As I'll show here, because I played her at E0 for a little bit, then E1, then E2. This is how much crit rate you get. However, that was with a specialized DR set. Most new players will not have a built Covenant set. I'm an older player. I have a lot of built sets. I can afford to build this, because this is 71% DR from just the substats and 10% crit rate. How much does a Mouchette as a free-to-play or one of the newer players have? Let's see. So a new player will not have all these good stuff. So we'll have one of these. Let's make it fair. What other things? Because you're not going to have that much DR. This is 15%. Because you're not going to be able to roll substats or anything, really. I'm just going to put this in an example. This is like, imagine you have no DR in your covenants. Let's say you don't have any DR in covenants, no crit rate in covenants. How much is that with Mouchette? E1. So it drops down to 27% crit rate here. Why is it high? Oh, this is not a good thing, but sure. That was past players with the Wailed out, well, non-Wailed out Mouchette for the first hour. This is future players. Now, the showcase. This is DR set. Like, you'll have this built if you're an old player. Remember, she gets 15% crit rate and crit damage for every 100 DR. So, this plus this, it's around 100, so 15% off of that. Plus 10% off the crit rate on this covenant. Plus, if you have a Wailed out, this is every Wailed out plus 12 wheel is an additional 15% crit rate for DR. So how much? And in top of that, her Wailed out. So at E1 to E3, this will be 0. You only get this DR stat if for every Enlightened past E3, capping out at 67 at plus 12. This is essentially, let's be generous. Let's round down. This is 7.5% crit rate. 7.5. It's more than that. It's closer to, let's say, 9%. I'm too lazy to do the math right now. So all that adds up with the Covenant set. Again, I don't have two Wailed out DR. Well, do I have another plus 12 DR set? I do. We obviously use her wheel, but I'm just going to showcase this as an example. So this is with fully Wailed out, 2 plus 12s, even it's too rich for my blood. How much crit rate does he have now? So with all of that Wailed out, that's 74% crit rate. Now, let's exit. Now, exit and let's start removing stuff. Just to, because that's our whole E1, DR. Remember, most players will not have these. Like, the math is pretty easy, but I'm going to just bump it down. I'm going to now use her wheel. Where is her wheel? I'm going to now get her wheel here. This part is unedited. This is just straight up. So this is, if I half that DR wheel, it was 74%, I believe. The math is quite easy, so if you don't have that plus 12, how much do you lose? 7%. But it adds up. And this is assuming you have one plus 12 DR wheel. Most of you guys do not have a good plus 12 like this South. Most of you guys are probably free to play. So your best case scenario, you used the plus 12 Mouchette wheel, which we don't have because the event is time gated. So I'm just going to use this as a stopgap. And remember, you get even less. You get another 7% less because of her plus 12. I have her plus 12, so it's minus another 7%. And remember, this is a Covenant I rolled, so this is even more if you don't have a good Covenant set for her. So we're lowering it by another 7%. Using just regular wheels. 59%. This is what most of you guys will have. Well, actually less. So minus the Wailed out, that's 52. And Covenants, let's be generous. So let's say you get a 30-40 roll on Covenant. So it would be like around 40-45% crit rate for most players. Most of you guys will have around 40-45% crit rate on her. Is that acceptable? That's up to you. That's up to you. That's your opinion. Even this DR set is not the even best one. Next, I'll show you my attempts on when I was playing low investment for the first hour or two. Mouchette, level 60, E1 or E2. This is when I tried her out as a support for Gellet or someone. This can be applied in general. How much does her Exalt really help Gellet and stuff? Well, see for yourself. And then I rewinded. I did this several times just to show I'm unbiased. And I played it without using Monchette's Exalt, as shown here. The conclusion I reach is using her as a support character for units that have powerful strikes like Jellet, etc., is useless. Just put in the Horla in there. Horla does more. A lot of support, real supports does more. So, the only way you would possibly pull from Mouchette is to have her as a carry herself. And I did go on and clear this A5, dragging Monchette's corpse through. Because with a good team, you can drag a random 4th unit through. And it was rough. Horla E1 would have been 10 times easier than this Mouchette on the Jellet team. So, her as a support is a no-go. Oh, and I also record diaries, which I'll post now. I recorded like sessions in between, so this is stop point 1. This is past flares. Go to past flares now. Hour in, I tested her out E1 to E2. At this level, this investment, I Soulforge 10 her. Pretty mediocre in comparison based on the clips. Now I'm going to test out her OE and Wailed out. Now I'm going to level her up. So I got her OE, level 70. And she can clear Alert 5 with premium supports. However, mob fights were a struggle. They were a pure struggle. So this is her damage, and this is what she's like, level 70 OE alone. So the game audio did not record when I was doing this, so I'm just going to talk over, and you're going to watch me do this sped up, so I don't want to bore you. So you're going to listen to my lovely voice while this combat is going through. I don't know, my voice is just randomly cut out, and then I'm the next part of the video. I'm just narrating something, so you have something to listen to. Something to listen to, my beautiful, beautiful dulcet tones, my beautiful voice. You are listening to the flares, the one. As you're watching this clip of level 70 OE, why did I run this team? Beachside Memento, this is one of the teams I ran. I ran a lot of teams. This is one of the level 70 teams that's cleared. Can it clear Wave 5, Alert 5? Hell no! Hell no with good invest. You have to put more wheels, more stuff. I'm not going to grind that. Welcome back. This is Current Flares. Now I'm going to explain to you why she's strong Wailed out. So, as you see from my clips, when you have level 70 OE, she will cap out at around 25, 27k, around there. Around there, my Mouchette. Again, everyone's going to be slightly different because of crit damage, how many DR procs. So, you notice, it caps out the strike damage after 8 things. And the whale equips I showed at the very start of the video and randomly sparsed out for the video when I wailed her out even more. You will notice that after you get 8 stacks, the new one caps out at 50, 60k plus. Why is that? Why is it just double it with the stats? Well, I'm going to show you again, in case you didn't figure out. So she has really good multipliers. This temporary final damage is the strongest basket multiplier in the game. Final damage is the best. Everything is the best. But what's so important? Soulforge, Arc 2. 30% increase in her attack values. Arc 2 maxed out. Final damage increased against bosses. Dominator enemies are bosses. Strike damage, 35% base damage. There's more. Traumatic encounter. Mouchette randomly pursuit, dealing damage equal to 30% of Monchette's attack. Count as strike. This effect can trigger 4 times a turn. Let's go more. So stats are affected by levels. Levels you can increase by wailing out and limited resources. Now let's go into more. Her wheel. Her wheel also affected by her base value stats. So let's go to her wheel here. This, for up to 8 hits, anytime their Wakers strike this turn, The wielder's strike damage temporarily increases by 25% of the wielder's attack. This is where most of her scaling from, not from strength because it's 1x strength scaling. It's from these effects. And what boosts her attack? That's right, just levels. Just pure levels into the unit. Pure levels, and not just levels. Her plus 12 plus 4. Every additional increase is more DR equals more crit rate, more crit damage. Again, you're going to run into crit rate, crit damage issues. This is not even the most wailed out Mouchette. The best Mouchette, like everyone on Discord Theory crafted, is if you have her plus 12 wheel or Lily's plus 12 wheel, so you can use them together. The only way to get consistent 100% crit rate is to put this on, because this fixes all of her crit rate issues. However, you cannot get this unless you either plus 12 this or her wheel. And her wheel is too important not to run. This is too important not to run. What did I use for all my Clipston flares if I did not run Lily, if I do not have List of 12? I used this as a stopgap. Lotan's wheel, because I had this plus 12. This is a welfare wheel. This is the only one I have, because this is going to be used on Calf. And it's in comparison. Because this is an alternative build, because her OE, her wailed out, as you see in the clips, is very strong. So, let me explain why I run this in lieu of not having plus 12. Again, this is better. Lily's wheel is better, no doubt. However, you would notice that fucking Mouchette's Exalt is the strongest scaling Exalt in the game, period. Let me prove to you. Quick, it's 500% of her attack. Again, the strike damage is 250% of her attack. This is why she's a wailed unit. Levels. How do you increase level? So this has the highest attack scaling of any Exalt in the game. Now, let's look at the other guy. This is Dorsine. Dorsine's whole thing is about Exalt. His is only 240% scaling. Plus, it has the strength scaling to make up for it and the final damage. But she also has final damage. Mouchette also has final damage. So that is the next best. Everyone else is pretty like Calf's, only 200%. Fucking G Murphy. It's 80% and 150% tentacle damage bonus. Mouchette is 500%. This is why I run Lotan's wheel plus 12 on her. With the whale Calf. With the whale, I don't know why I said Calf. Mouchette. Why? Her overexalt. What this means is she becomes a very powerful overexalt unit. Wailed out. You know why? Every time DR triggers this battle, plus 1 additional hit. On the Exalt, not on her strikes. This is a good confusion. So, plus 1 hit count. So, if you proc DR 5 times, her Exalt is going to hit 5 times. For example. Well, 5 more times. 5 more times. So, it's going to hit 7 times. So, does this hit count plus 1, the original hit count, and plus 5. If you proc DR 5 times during that boss fight. So, this makes her overexalt very strong. She becomes an Exalt unit. Now, there is a build I want to test out. I don't have the Covenant for it, where I put the thing. It might be one of the ways to build her. This is good. Lots of damage. You don't need strength. This is just base damage scaling. She's just straight out strong, wailed out. Because of this effect, that's what I use. Now, ideally, you don't have to do it. You would run Lily's wheel if you're a super whale. I ran out of pools. Go wailing her out. I ran out of pools. I'm not going to spend more. I don't, believe it or not, I don't have the whale. I haven't spent enough to get this. I only buy the value packs. This is what planning out value gets you. 420 D-Tide. Not wailing out that much. Again, I'll probably hit the whale during half Annie. That's fine. But I only get value packs. So yeah, that is what I run. Now let's go into Covenant builds and teams. Now that I established that she's an extremely whale unit, Might as well do my job. Some of you guys are on Wailed her. She's very good design. Her animations are good. She is fun to play. She's just not that strong without wailing out. If you're going to be honest. People I have above her on the tier list are above her for a reason. Everyone knows why to wail is good. I wail her out because I play her a lot and a lot of people borrow her. And I have shown you can clear A5 to wail with just +4 and or just E3. I have helped people clear it. Well, some bosses, specific counter bosses, you can clear A5 with just E3. Just same as Jellet. I clear A5 all the time with Jellet. E3, level 80 here. Calf can do it as well. I got it for levels. These units can do it consistently. A5. So let me go to my records. For my Jellet. These are what normal units do. So let me go to my Exter. This is Jellet. Alert 5, wave 5. This right here is more damage than my +12 Mouchette. I mathed out the +12 Mouchette, compare it to Jellet E3. And Mouchette can do a lot of damage on boss fight. However, mob fights, she has trouble with. This team has no trouble with it. No trouble with mob fights, no trouble with boss fights. And only one DR proc. Mouchette relies on proccing DR to scale up during a boss fight. If you proc DR before getting to boss fight, tough luck, pal. She's a wave 3 warrior. And flares. But why do you rate G-Doll so highly? She's also a, wave 3 warrior. Well, she clears. This is my 420. What I did last week. 420. This is alert 5. This is Arita. Arita, 6 turns. This damage. None of the limiteds are OE. Wave 1 extra. Wailed Dorazine. I meme on Dorazine all the time. You know how much I meme on Dorazine. He's not a good investment. I sunk cost fallacy. However, he has an easier time killing mobs. Killing mob waves. Getting to the boss than Mouchette. He provides utility. That's why I rate him higher on the general tier list. On the Wailed tier list, I'm rating Mouchette higher than Dorazine. Wailed Mouchette is better than Wailed Dorazine. However, general use tier list, Dorazine is better. You know why? He inflicts bone, he heals, and he provides more utility for the team. Mouchette, like Polwex, all they have is damage. They have no utility. And by providing no utility, I expect more. Okay? I expect her to shit on DPS with utility. But at the way it stands, Dorazine provides more. Fucking Caster is a shielder that keeps you alive, so she does this big burst. You don't need to proc DR. Alert 5 here. Can carry to Wanda. Caster, yep. Carry these units. Alert 5. G-Doll, +4, just like Mouchette +4, has an easier time with the feint clearing a easy wave 3 alert 5. Why do I not? Because I have helped players clear with this. The G-Doll comp, you don't need levels on G-Doll. You just need the over Exalt. On Mouchette, you need the pulls and you need the levels. You notice how my G-Doll is only level 70? That's because I don't feel the need to level her up to level 80. And she's a support. You can put her on other teams. Mouchette, if you're pulling for her, you're going to play her as a DPS. And as a DPS, I have separate support and DPS categories on my tier list. Okay? I'm comparing to other DPS, not supports. And G-Doll can perform this wave 3 easier than Mouchette. Does the fixed damage and whatnot. This G Murphy, obviously, +8, can do a bigger burst than Mouchette. Everyone knows how good G Murphy is. She's probably the strongest unit in the game. And she supports, she shields, she gives you S key, she skills your tentacle damage, she helps you rouse your entire team. she does a lot of things. She was built as a support, and as a support, she does more damage than Mouchette. Because remember, this is more... I did more damage than this. I did double this, because the sacrifice stacks that didn't proc. So it was an additional million of sacrifice damage. This is 3 million damage right here in 4 turns. All my Mouchette clears, you have to wait until the boss kills you in order to start doing damage. The boss doesn't always kill you fast, dude. The boss has rest stages. Let's see Gel it again. 6 turns, alert 5. E3 is +1 because I got the extra copy from random deepen. Easy. Now, Blue Will. Obviously, I invested a lot in it. It's good. And Calf. Can carry 3 units. Big damage. And can shield you, generate strength, draw your cards, scale strength. She provides more utility than Mouchette. If Mouchette, I already stated how I was going to rate her. If she was able to clear Alert 5, level 70, I did clear it, with less support easily. Getting to the boss stages was rough, and I'm thoroughly unimpressed with her pre-Wailed damage in comparison to other units at that investment. I'm even unimpressed with her +12 damage, level 84. I am unimpressed. It is 2.5 million damage, 2.5 to 3 million damage. You might think, oh, that's a lot, Flares. You're being unfair. It's 2.5 million damage, but you need to die X amount of time for it. The boss sometimes gets cocooned and reinforced. Also, she's a pure damage dealer. Getting to the boss is hard. It is not realistic for most players if I rate her Wailed. That's what the general tier list is for. On the Wailed tier list, she's A tier. She's one of the strongest boss fighting units. However, she's not the strongest. If you are built as a pure boss killer, you give no utility to your team. You do nothing but damage, like Pollux. You provide no support, nothing to help your team that you have to find the bone, find the weakness, find other stuff to support you. I expect you to deal more damage than DPS that are able to do that amount of damage and still support the team. To Will, she can still strength down, support the team, and shits out damage. Calf, she can shield you, build strength, shits out damage. Fucking Gellet, she can heal you, shit out damage, scale up strength. AoE, all that. And duplicate cards, like all of these already S tier units, which I rated, have other things they do. Like, does Caster deal as much damage as a Wailed in Mouchette? Actually, yes. Caster Wailed out. I've shown you, if you store up enough Onyx Plumes, his burst turn is stronger than Mouchette's burst turn. And he scales better than Mouchette. Because Mouchette, outside of the relic, has no real scaling. You notice all this? She has no permanent scaling outside of her image relic. You notice on her kit? Like, because she has 1x strength scaling, like Pollux. However, this is her only thing. And this is not scaling. This is just stronger for that turn. So 100% final damage multiplier. So, Mouchette at, let's say, level, like turn 1 to turn 15, the only difference is scaling through dying. This is her only avenue of getting more damage. So your damage is going to plateau, going to cap off. Calf, you can get hundreds and hundreds of more strength, thousands of more strength. And on top of that, all that strength that Calf gets, she also scales off of her E3. Off her E3 right here. Base damage 5%. Each stack of combust gain. So she has a strength scaling multiplier. She scales strength And she has that. That's 2 scaling vectors. Let's look at Tawil. Her 4 wings. Strength. And she can get counter. She can get poison. Build poison. Counter on the boss. It helps you live. And she gives you barrier and all that. Jellet. She has a 5x strength bonus on her Bloodthirsty Flail. That heals you. She does bleed damage. She prevents the target from gaining shield. She gets you strength. And she has the base damage scaling for every turn after you rouse her. And she has a source of getting crit damage. Let's look at G Murphy. She has sacrifice stacks. She scales her tentacles herself. She does this. She has the covenant scaling. So all of these for a longer boss fight perform better than Mouchette. All she has is the 100% crit damage from her E1 for every DR proc. This is the only scaling she has. You cannot die infinitely. Okay, I take that back. You can die infinitely? Sure. Show me a run where you proc DR 20 times, okay? It's theoretically possible. Just hit the 5%, hit the 3%, hit the 2%, then hit the 1%. Sure, go ahead. But I'm not going to rate her off of that. And even then, if this is her only avenue, I expect her to outperform, not match. She does match damage. Wailed out. She does match in damage. Lower tier. Does she match in damage, G Murphy? Hell no. I tested it. No. Her cap in damage is less than a 4-turn G Murphy burst. A 4-turn G Murphy burst is 3 million damage at this investment level. Okay? It's 3 million damage. Fucking Mouchette, if I wailed her out, her cap, full meme comp, premium supports, I did the Hamlet, I did the dies, her cap is around 2.2 to 2.5 million. And it doesn't go up. G Murphy can keep going up. Tawil can keep going up with the counter and poison. Jello can keep going up. Calf can keep going up. That 2.5 million damage, that is it. And God forbid you don't kill the boss then, or the boss does a multi-hit attack after you proc all of DRs. How is Mouchette gonna help you live? That's right, she won't. She's only a D-Tide warrior. She's a D-Tide warrior, she's very good. There are ways to fix her though. One thing that confuses me about her kit is why the fuck does her pursuit not proc off of herself? Again, all the Wailed Psalm combo, you have to play it right. You have to get the 8 stacks. You have to get 8 strike stacks a turn. That's why I ran those units. I'll go into teams in a bit. Sorry this part lasts a while. I didn't put clips, but I want to talk about this over it. I don't want to have to edit the clips. So, this is what I'm going to explain now. So, her dramatic thing is each strike. So before her release, every 2 strike card plays, Mouchette performs a pursuit, randomly dealing 1. So you need to trigger 8 strike cards a turn. This is extremely hard to do without her posse or without Beach Posse. This is hard. You can't do it to guarantee you're able to achieve this every turn, but you want to do it every turn. You want to do that damage, right? Well, it's very hard to trigger this. The full 8 stacks every turn. Unless you do certain turn. You can easily trigger it in a burst turn. Don't misquote me. It's easy to trigger it in a burst turn, but you cannot consistently do it every turn. So she's only a burst turn unit, and getting to the boss is quite difficult. Other units can get their burst off easily in comparison to Mouchette. A lot of units, you can just burst whenever. Tawil just bursts whenever. Fucking Jellet just bursts with dice. It's almost every turn. Calf, you can burst every turn. G Murphy, you can sort of burst. Just one big burst. G Murphy is like an exception. She can only burst once every 3 turns. Mouchette, this is her restriction. Make sure you have enough strike cards. In addition, this is not retained. This is a heavy 3 cost. If you don't have her OE, you have to play at 3 cost. If you have her OE, it becomes a 0 cost. That is good. And let me go into a bit more. Her crit rate issues. It's solved with Lily Wheel. It's solved. So what am I talking about? So let me go over the options for posse and team comps. So I tried a lot of teams. So these are the I tried more teams than this, but I'm gonna show you the teams. So try this. This is just a placeover for Mouchette. I put Mouchette here. I tried this. I tried this. Etc. So there's a DTI team and there's a main story team. So let's go over her essentials. So the best partner for Mouchette is, like everyone guessed it, I tried it without it, it's Hellet. Hellet is the best partner for Mouchette. I tried running her Ultra, I tried running her Blue. Both of them work. So, but Carol is the best realm to run Mouchette. So let me just quick team line up something so I can show you guys. So, actually, hold up. Sorry. This is what I made for myself. Again, this is ugly. I know. This is for me. Okay? This is what I put every Awaker that would work or that counts as strike. Gel it. I tried it. You wouldn't run Mouchette in this team. Goliath. It works. The low investment wise, you want to run her Blue. Because she's not going to do a lot of damage with her strikes, low investment. However, she will hit a lot. She will proc a lot of tentacles. Blue is good for low investment Mouchette. But why did I think Goliath? Because Exalt option 1, Blaze Dominion count as strike. Every turn it's prepare retain. So it will become a 0 cost. This is how you can easily set up a Mouchette burst turn. It's with Goliath Exalt 1, Blue realm. Low investment, it works. High investment Mouchette, you abandon it for Hellet. Now, fucking G-Ramona. This also worked. I ran the G-Ramona comp. So G-Ramona. Why G-Ramona? Because of her Exalt. Her Exalt right here plays temporary copies of the last 3 different command cards. So the turn before, you played 3 strikes as your last cards. And this is another way to easily set up a Mouchette burst turn. It's with G-Ramona. And Mouchette can buff G-Ramona's strike. Now her loop strike is very strong. Better than Mouchette strike, actually. It's quite funny. So this, when loop, it deal damage 5 times and Ramona's crit rate increases. This is very good, her strike. And you can sight unbound a Mouchette 1 cost and make it 0 cost until you have to play it. So, let's go to other units rather before I talk about her bread and butter. Fucking Lotan. Very good for Mouchette. Why? Blade of Defiance. Every strike card played reduce the cost of this by 1. So eventually this becomes a free strike card for Mouchette. And since you're playing DR, you can put the DR wheel on Lotan and get her OE more often to deal damage to the boss. Lotan, very good. Lily. Why Lily? It helps Mouchette live to the boss. Because of strike to protect, you hold it and it becomes a 0. It's a strike. Lily can help you live, and she's a DR unit. Riker. I tried it, not worth it. I'll tell you right now, it's not worth it. I thought because of the double plate, again, this is my use. This is not. I did not create this mount. I created this days ago. So, other options. I tried the Ultra team with Cassia. Right here. Telekinesis count as strike. It's a triple hit strike. It's not worth it. And you pull a Mouchette card from thing. It's not worth it. I tried it. It's not worth it because you know why? The best partner for her is Hellet. Hands down. It's not even close. It's not even close. Not even close by any margin of error who the best Mouchette support is. Why? Fuck all of her cards. It's this. In this turn, strike damage increased by 100%. This doubles Mouchette's damage for that turn. There is no other support that is as important as Helot. You don't even need to level up her cards because it's all Mouchette. You only level up this Lasting Loaf to get more strikes. So you would play this, Mouchette 1, then play this to get more strikes, to get your 8 strike cards that turn. Lasting Loaf and her Exalt. And her Exalt, when devoured, it draws 3 strike cards. What do you do with this? Delete this Shattering Strike ASAP. This is dog shit. This discards all the strikes in hand. No. Delete this so that when you're using Mouchette Posse later, you cannot draw this, okay? Delete this as soon as possible. Keep all the strikes. This is the best partner for her. I tested all the comps. It's the best one. Helot. Just put the R on everyone. Now, let's go to other partners and wheels. Pikmin. I tried it. Not worth it. Not worth it in general. So what are the best Mouchette comps if you wail her out? For D-Tide and main story. Now let's go over main story comps. So for a main story comp, it's Mouchette, Helot. Guess who else? That's right. Dies. Big surprised. I'm sure you guys are very surprised about this. I'm sure I blew your fucking mind. It's quite obvious. Vone, weakness, dies Exalt on Mouchette's 3 cost or 1 cost cards. It's quite obvious. Anyone who didn't think of this, I question whether you play the game at all. If for a main story comp. Last unit. Who's the last unit, Flares? Is it Feint? Could be. So, the last unit is flexible. If you are fighting a boss, which requires you to, shield up, deal damage, or whatever, Feint. Sure. I don't run it. You know why? Because you just get Aegis for another stun. Her stun is independent from Mouchette's OE. That's another stun. That's good, and it gives you a nice, easy source of Vone. What's another option? Hamlin. Why Hamlin, Flares? Well, Hamlin gives you that a riff. So I did a run with Hamlin. That's one of my huge burst turn things. I did a run with Hamlin. So why? It's because of his Memory Rondo and his Exalt. You can Exalt Mouchette's 3 cost card for multiple plays. And when you rouse him, you get these 0 costs. So you can +2 a strike or -2. You're going to -2, so you have the mana to play the 8 strikes. So that is why Hamlin is a good option as well. And a Memory Rondo ensures that you have enough mana to play your 8 fucking strikes every turn, and you can cycle through your deck faster with Hamlin Memory Rondo. So those are the options I recommend for main story team. For D-Tide, the actual endgame, you cannot run Thighs. Fucking Gellet wants Thighs. Fucking Salvador wants Thighs. Everyone wants Thighs. You cannot afford it for a Mouchette team. Hamlin, it's already with your Tawil team. So, these 2 are not it. Who do you have? Again, if you have these units free, use them for D-Tide. However, if they can go anywhere else, literally anywhere else, put them there instead. I don't recommend pulling for Mouchette, period. But so, who do you have left that's not taken by meta teams? Well, Lotan, and last unit is Alba. Why Lotan and Alba? It can be Lily. These 3 plus either Alba, Lily, G Ramona, or G Ramona. Alba, Lily, G Ramona. Those are the options. Why do I use Alba? Well, I push D-Tide. There is no source of Vone. Alba is going to be my source of Vone. And Alba has a card that counts as strike. And what else does Alba do? when you Exalt, it also draws cards. Discard state cards, unbricks yourself, and she has this retain card that helps you cycle through your deck faster because you keep it in your hand so you can guarantee more strikes. And this counts as a strike for every defense card played. So this is why I run Alva. Do I recommend you guys run Alva? Hell no. I do not recommend you guys run Alva. This is who I have left for a source of Vault. And she's a wailed out straight to boss fight. Find a map that you can go to straight to boss as fast as possible. Because if you're playing Mouchette in any capacity, you know that she suffers killing mobs. She suffers quite hard killing mobs. Killing bosses is doing fine. So let's talk about wheels. So, ideally, you want Lily Wheel here. If you don't have Lily Wheel, then use Celestial Beast. Why don't I recommend Will and Yielding? This is going on your calf team. Every one of you guys should have a calf. This is going on your calf team right now. So, most of you guys will have a good low 10 wheel. If you don't have that, just use a SR whatever. Just use whatever SR wheel. This is what I use. Lily Wheel is optimal here. I don't have a plus 12. So, what about Covenants? So, I tested it. I tested a temporary Mouchette. This is the DR set I made for Mouchette. I thought, since you have their OE, you're in trigger DR, and wielders gain ailments. You do not need this. You know why? Because her ability, Soul Forge, already gets her ailments. Every time triggered, it already gives her 50. So, I use Dreams. And I don't even run this S-Key wheel. What do I run? Triple fucking DR on everyone else. This is what I run, and it will do all those clips you saw. This is what I found out to be the best. Because you need as much DR as possible for Mouchette. You need it for her to scale. So triple DR, and every time you proc DR, this effect gives the wielder 50 elements. So that means you can low ton over Exalt more. You can Exalt on these 3 units more. Because this is your bone. This is your buff for Mouchette. So every time you proc DR, you're able to do it for the Mouchette. And Mouchette already procs the DR. And this Dreams helps her have more Mortal Blast retain and more Shining Crushes. So she can fill up her ailments more. Mortal Blast is very good. You want to strike Mortal Blast strike at the very end. So this is what I found to be the most consistent in damage. Do I recommend April? No. Where am I gonna get the crit rate then, Flares? You're wrong. Well, posses. So, what posse did I find that is best? Beachside Memento is the best posse for Mouchette. This creates 1 basic strike command cards. Every turn, create 1 and gain 20% temporary crit rate. This is where you're going to get your remaining crit rate. And this gives you the Fleeting Beauty card, which gets you a shit ton of strikes that cost 0 in your hand. This is the best posse for Mouchette that I found. And this is Exhaust Retain. You can just browse, posse. And the only unit you're going to rouse is Mouchette. And then you posse every turn. That is the build. This is just showcasing one of the big bursting A5. I did this boss 3 times, one with Hamlin, one without dies, etc. I'm just using her here, but this is just a showcase of Wailed. Again, there was no audio during this clip, so I'm sorry I did not record the audio. Stay tuned till the end for the Mouchette music video I made. So, I put a lot of effort in that. So, I placed her A tier Wailed and C tier general use. You can disagree with me. I stated my reasons. I think quite thoroughly. I showcase proof, the difference between a Wailed and a non-Wailed. I showcase the comps. I showcase my comparisons. I cleared Alert 5 with just level 70 non-whale. Alert 1, I've cleared Alert 5 with getting her ass carried through. But is she good as other units? Is she worth the pulls? It's up to you. I don't think she is. But I like her design. I pull for her. She's very good wailed out. I cannot recommend anyone do it. So I wailed out for her just to show I know what I'm talking about. And because no one else was wailing out for her when I started playing. So she's not a good investment. I'm sorry. As much as I like her, as much as I want to like her, her design, I cannot recommend her to anyone.
Je suis Mouchette, petite fille perdue, arrachée à mon monde, mais jamais sans ma hache. I fell through the veil into a world of dissolution. From a world of mist, my life was thrown out of sequence. A broken evolution. The sky cracked open and the void called my name. But I spin through the dark like a beast that can't be tamed. My heartbeat sinks with the team in my side. I bruise their strikes, let their power collide. Death can't claim me as I rise once more. Je marche fière et libre, femme française encore. Taillée pour la guerre du décor. Je tourne, je frappe, je brise la nuit. Enfant guerrière défiant l'infini. Chaque fois que je tombe, je reviens plus forte. Preuve d'être résistante, j'ouvre une autre porte. I'm spinning through the shadows like a shining tornado. I strike, hit so hard that I'm sanctioned by night. Oh, my danse de destruction, pure libération. Oh, do you need a translation? Tornado of annihilation. Enjoy your castration. Dans les ruines anciennes, j'avance sans peur. Les monstres d'outre-temps tremblent à mon ardeur. Ma hache étincelle, un soleil miniature. J'écris mon destin d'enfant contre la rupture. Je crie à moi l'équipe et les strikes s'illuminent. Un tour pour chacun, la victoire s'aligne. Les boss titubent, incapables de comprendre comment une fille elle peut tout faire descendre. I'm spinning through the shadows like a shining tornado. I strike, it's so hard that I'm sanctioned by nature. My dance is a destruction, pure liberation. Oh, do you need a translation? Tornado of annihilation. Enjoy your castration. When death resistance procs, I kick down death's door. As every time I fall, I rise stronger than before. I'm stronger than Liz, a failed ballerina who never made the biz. While I'm on broad